Hello again, and welcome to your first tutorial on bubble sort. So let's start with the definition or the step-by-step procedure. Let me preface this by saying do not be overwhelmed because I'm going to follow it up with a visual demonstration, and it's going to make a lot more sense once you combine the two. So let's just start slowly. The first thing you're going to do is compare the first two data points in your data set. So let's say you have your basic Java array of integers. You're going to compare the integers at elements 0 and 1. And if, say, element 0, so the first element in the data set is in the correct order, so this means that it's in the sorted order. So the first element in this array is smaller than the second if we're sorting in ascending order, which, by the way, all of these tutorials do focus on ascending order sorted. So anyways, if this is in the correct order, the first element is smaller, the second element is bigger, then nothing is going to happen because those two elements are already technically sorted. If they are not in the correct order, so if element at index 0 is bigger than the element at index 1, we're going to swap the two elements. So essentially what's going to happen, and the key thing to take away, is that the bigger element is moving up on the list. So now we're going to repeat the process with the second and third elements, the third and the fourth elements, the fourth and the fifth elements, all the way until you reach the end of the list. And so remember, that's what is going to happen while you are comparing the second and the third and the fourth elements, etc., is that the bigger number is going to continuously move up on the list, and the smaller numbers in general are going to move down on the list closer to the beginning. So you're going to slowly reach towards this sorted equilibrium. So once you reach the end of this loop, so you've compared the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way until you reach the end of your list, the last element at that point is going to be the largest. The list is not completely sorted, but the last element is going to be the largest because we're continuously swapping the largest element up towards the end of the list. So once we iterate through the list one complete time, the largest element will be last. So what that means for us is we have to start the process again, but this time the last element does not need to be compared because as I said, the last element we already know is technically sorted because the last element is going to be the biggest. And so that means that after we iterate through the array again, or our sort of data set again for the second time, once we reach the end of that iteration, we're going to know that the second to last element is correctly sorted as well. And then we won't have to sort through that part the next time around either. So we're going to continuously have smaller and smaller iterations. So hopefully that didn't confuse you too much, but now we're going to check out the visualization. So you can see here we just have a small array of 6 integers, and we are going to sort it using bubble sort. So the first thing we're going to do is compare the first two elements, 3 and 2. So 3 is smaller than 2, 3 is larger than 2, so we need to swap those because they're not in correctly sorted order. So we swap them. And now we are good to go. So now we compare the second and the third elements. So 3 is smaller than 6. So these are in correct order. So we don't sort these. And now we compare the third and the fourth elements. 6 is larger than 4. So we're going to swap these. Of course, you'll notice that 6 is the largest element in this set. So as I said earlier, it's going to continuously get pushed back towards the end of the list. So now we compare the fourth and the fifth elements. 6 is larger than 5, so it gets swapped. And now we compare the last two elements, fifth and sixth elements. And again, 6 is larger than 1, so we swap. Now you'll notice that the largest element, 6, is at the end of the list, as I noted. And so now we only have to iterate through the first 5 elements instead of the whole list. So comparing the first two elements, those are in sorted order, so we don't have to swap those. Again, 3 is smaller than 4, so we do not swap those. 4 is smaller than 5, no swap. 5 is larger than 1, so we swap. And now you see that 5 is in its correct place, and so now we don't have to sort through that element either. So now we have 2 completely sorted elements at the very end of the list. We know that our last 2 elements in the list are the largest numbers. So now we sort through the first 4. 2 is smaller than 3, no swap. 3 is smaller than 4, no swap. But 4 is larger than 1, so we swap. And now we only sort through the first 3. Again, 2 is smaller than 3, no swap. 3 is larger than 1, so we swap. Now the last 4 elements are sorted, so we just do one last sort with the first 2 elements, and 2 is larger than 1, so we swap them. And now we have our completely sorted list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was sorted using bubble sort. So now let's check out how we do it through some Java code.